Hello. So we're talking about choreography. I mentioned I have two slightly conflicting ideologies about choreography. I'm going to explain the second one. So the second idea I have, and it incorporates a couple things, is I always want to have original choreography. I want to have things in the solo that I haven't done in my last few solos. I have a personal rule where I try to have 5 to 10 moves in the solo I've never done before, which over the years becomes harder and harder to do, but actually has never been a particular challenge with me. I've always been able to find something based on the kid, based on the music, based on the level they're at. That's something I've never tried before or accomplished before. The other thing I try to do is most solos are done 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months before they can actually need the solo for their major competitions. So I try to put stuff in there that they can't do that I want them to be able to do by the time they compete with it. So I try to put stuff in that frustrates and annoys them, stuff they're going to have to actually work at. My basic concept is if I'm doing a solo for a certain level, I want to choreograph it essentially 2 levels higher than the level I'm doing. I want to put stuff in that's 2 levels higher. So if I'm doing a star 1 solo, I want to choreograph it, well, there's no such thing. If I'm doing a star 2 solo, I want to choreograph it more like what I would expect for a basic star 4 level. And you know, you might think that that's not going to work very well, but it actually works really well. The kids rise to the occasion, and usually within 2, 3, 4 weeks, the things that they said were impossible and too hard and they complained about bitterly at first end up really coming together and working really well after 3, 4 weeks of being forced to work on it. So I've never had a problem with this approach. Now there is the occasional move that I put in that after 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks just isn't improving, isn't looking any better. And I might eventually have to dumb that down or take it out or simplify it or change it to something else. But that generally doesn't happen because if I'm choreographing a solo and I show them something and on the day they just can't grasp the concept at all and it doesn't look like they're getting it at all, I generally will change it on the spot and I'll try something else in that spot. I guess that's about it. So this kind of conflicts with the first concept I have because this is my first concept is make everything simple and basic so they can get through the whole solo. But then I'm also trying to make it 2 levels harder than their level, which is a little bit of a weird conflict that it's sometimes is a struggle to resolve. But at the end of the day, I don't want the solo to look good after a week. I don't want the solo to look good after a month. I want them to have to do 15, 20, 25, 30 run-throughs of it, really working on isolated places that they're having trouble with in order to get it to look good. Now I want it to look spectacular and completely poised and polished by the time they get to their first competition. Maybe not their first. Their first one might be a small competition that we're just using to try out the solo. But by the time they get to their major competitions, whether it be sectionals, provincials, nationals, the Olympics, whatever, I want them to have a totally finished and complex but elegantly performed program. I think that's it. Bye.